Paulus led the advance to Stalingrad during summer 1942. His troops fought Soviet forces defending Stalingrad for 3 months in horrific urban warfare. In November 1942, the Soviet Red Army launched a counter-offensive called Operation Uranus. Paulus was now surrounded by an entire Soviet army group. On the 7th of January 1943, General Konstantin Rokossovsky called a ceasefire and offered Paulus and his men generous surrender terms, standard rations, medical treatment for the ill and wounded, allowed to retain their badges, decorations, uniforms and personal effects. These terms were refused by Paulus. After the World War I armistice, Friedrich Paulus was a brigade adjutant in the Freikorps. He was chosen as one of 4,000 officers to serve in the Reichswehr, the defensive army that the Treaty of Versailles had limited to 100,000 men. He was assigned to the 13th Infantry Regiment at Stuttgart as a company commander. Respecting his last wishes, his body was transported to Baden-Baden in West Germany, to be buried at the Hauptfriedhof next to his wife, who had died in 1949. They had not seen each other since his departure for the Eastern Front in the summer of 1942. In May 1939, Paulus was promoted to Major General and became Chief of Staff for the German 10th Army, which saw service in Poland. In 1940, the unit was renamed the 6th Army and engaged in the spring offensives of 1940 in the Netherlands and Belgium. He became a vocal critic of the Nazi regime while in Soviet custody, joining the Soviet-sponsored National Committee for a Free Germany, appealing to Germans to surrender. He later acted as a witness for the prosecution at the Nuremberg trials in 1946. On January 30, 1943, Paulus informed Hitler that his army was only hours from collapse. Hitler responded by showering field promotions on Paulus's officers by radio to build up their spirits and steel their will to hold their ground. In late 1956 he developed amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and became progressively weaker. He died in Dresden on February 1, 1957. Exactly 14 years and 1 day after his surrender at Stalingrad. Paulus was promoted to lieutenant general in August 1940. In September, he was named deputy chief of the German General Staff. In that capacity he helped draft the plans for Operation Barbarossa, the German invasion of the Soviet Union. Heinz Guderian described Paulus as brilliantly clever, conscientious, hard-working, original and talented, but had severe doubts about his decisiveness, toughness and lack of command experience. When Hitler found out Paulus had surrendered, he flew into a rage and vowed never to appoint another field marshal again. He would actually go on to appoint another 7 field marshals through the rest of the war. In his younger years, Paulus unsuccessfully tried to secure a cadetship in the Imperial German Navy, then went on to briefly study law at Marburg University. After leaving university without a degree, he joined the 111th Infantry Regiment as an officer cadet in February 1910.